Today we talk about slide background, right? Sometimes you see different slide with different background, so you wonder how do they insert this background, how do they go about it, right? So what's the entire technology surrounding this thing? All right, so ask no more as we are going to unravel it. Right, let's get started. Format background. All right, the name of the option actually that gives a slide its background in PowerPoint is called a format background. So let's define the background. A part of a slide that depicts scenery to the rear or behind the main image is called the slide background, right? So the part of the slide that depicts scenery to the rear or behind the main object is called the slide background. So let's get to the lab. This is a blank presentation. This is a blank slide. All right, so we want to add a color and add a color, a background color to the slide. There are two ways we can go about it, and I'll tell you both of the ways. All right, I'll tell you both of them. So the one popularly is the design. Look at it. Come to this place called the design menu, the design, and so just by your right, there's something called the format background. Right, that's why I told you format background. It's used to style our slide. So when you hit it, all right, it brings out options for you. Just follow me. It's a bit technical actually, but then it's not impossible. All right, so this is what it opens to. First, you see what we call a solid fill. All right, see what we call this solid fill. So the fill is the only option in the format background. So when you tap down, you see solid fill, a gradient fill, a picture or texture fill, a pattern fill. All right, we've discussed color theory, right? And then by now you know what we call a solid fill, you know what a gradient fill does. All right, so solid fill. So we come here, and you come here. All right, so you now select the background you want. So let's select a bright background, right? This is a yellow background, right? So if we have 20 slides here and we want to apply this background to all the 20 slides, we don't have to go doing it one after the other. All we need to do is to come here. There's such a thing like apply to all. So when you hit on apply to all, everything I mean will take this yellow background. Okay, you can see it here now, right? You can see it. So take this yellow background. All right, so that's it. And then there's something I want to show you. There's such thing called transparency too. Transparency, just can you see? I don't know how well to explain it to you. So but then you could see the effect of the transparency. All right, the least number has the lowest transparency, while the highest number has the most transparency. White, just normal white, has 100% transparency, while the yellow has a zero. The very yellow has the 0% transparency. All right, as you go through it, you see the brightness is changing. I guess maybe transparency is, we could define it as the brightness, actually, how bright it is, how bright the background is. All right, so that's it about solid fill, right? Same thing with gradient fill. Gradient fill is just that you have to add two colors. All right, two or more colors, pardon me. All right, two or more colors, but in my case I'll just use two colors. So right, once we come here and select here, we'll then pick our color. Right, we are still using yellow. one part yellow, and then another part we'll use orange, right? So you see a combination of two color. So there's something here I want you to pay attention to. Type, right? This preset gradients are they are customized gradients, so you don't want to waste your time here. So type linear, just observe, just radial, alright, radial. Just observe what happens when I change rectangular gradient, right? Some parts are brighter than others, you get. So last part, right? You see, this part, right? So I think we'll go with radial. I like what I'm saying in radial. So you could adjust the color to suit what you want actually. So if you are just adjust it to give you what you actually want, right? So this is it about um gradient fill. And then there is still brightness, all right. See, there's a slight difference between transparency and brightness. So you see, you can see the effect of brightness, the effect of brightness. So transparency too, you can see the effect of transparency. They are almost the same, but just slight difference. So, and I will advise you, most times you shouldn't use brightness, you should use transparency instead if that's necessary. Right, and that if that's necessary, use transparency. Position, or position, it's not an issue actually. So let's say we use 50%, right? 50% position, all right. You see the difference. The position is the difference between the first color and the second color. Just like coming here to hover, right? Just coming here to do it manually, right? But you can use position to do that, right? So that it, the background color, gradient background color. Maybe I should do it this way. I should use a solid fill here so that we have, right, so that we have three different background color. First, this is just the solid background color, and then we have the gradient background color. You get. So let's write something to at least make our text box, text content at least. So let's write something like background slide and format background. Let's write something like this. So let's write something like this and then style it, right? Is this area black, right? We look for a corresponding color, right? A color that makes it interesting, right? Let's use this black color, right? So that we can see our right top here actually. So anything you do, just you're just on your own, because the background color is just there, right? The background color will remain there. So let's increase this to maybe 28. So right, so we could also add shape. So let's do something to this part of the slide. Do something to this part of the slide. So what's the color? Let's color it. So white. Right, should we use white? Should we not use white? Okay, let's use this dark blue. Let's use this, and then right? So you can see it here, but the background is remaining static and nothing is changing in background. All right, add so many things you want to add, right, to the background. So that's the concept of background imaging, right? We're not done this gradient field, so you could add more text to your own PowerPoint presentation, right? So still on it, there's something I've not shown you. There's something called picture or texture fill, right? Picture or texture fill. So this is a texture fill, but I want to use an image as a background. So there's some, come here, you see it here, picture source, you insert, all right? Then it tells you need an internet connection to insert online pictures. While you are offline, you can insert pictures from your computer. So work offline. Okay, right? So let's use this. So if it's that, right, I've inserted my picture background. All right, there's something I want to show you. If you are to use texture, before I inserted this background, something popped up and then I said it is called a texture fill. Okay, you could change it here and then change the kind of texture you want here. So right, so I can't be able to do it again because I have inserted the picture here and then I don't want to go back. So the same transparency to it's looking too heavy like this, so you can reduce the transparency a bit and then right. It's a tile picture as texture. You will have tiled the picture as a texture, but the picture doesn't look beautiful. So when you tile it as a texture, it doesn't. Yes, this will do, but I still feel no, it doesn't meet standard. Like my taste actually doesn't meet my taste, right? Think offset left. Offset allows you a little space from the left. Offset right, little space from the right. Also, your work gets a bit beautiful. All right, you see, offset. All right, so this space probably you could manipulate it still. So let's do a bit something funny. Let's manipulate it. So let's say I want to add something. All right, just add something here. Right, just add something. We want to add something, so a color, common format it. Let's format it. No, all right. So what color do we use this now? What color? No, color is an important part of PowerPoint because you cannot just select anyhow color, right? So should we select this? Okay, let's use this then. Right, so let's do this. So you can just do something like this, right? Just something like this, with this space remaining. I'm trying to see so that it fits in, and something like this, right? But the background remains static. You cannot change it, you cannot move it. It's not a picture. It's a picture, but then it's a picture background. Let's put it that way. So you see, this is what maybe you want to manipulate something of this kind. So right, so that's why you permit little space here, right? So let's still go back to it. There are things we haven't finished explaining. Then we have something called a pattern fill, right? For that, let me open another slide, right? pattern fill. So a pattern fill is also a background, kind of background. Alright, it's not a picture. It's not this. The very funniest and the sweetest part of it is that it has you can change the color for color, and then as a matter of fact it also has a background color, a background having a background color. Alright, so you see it's for color and background color, and you choose the one you want. Alright, so let's write something here. Write pattern fill. Right, let's see pattern fill. Right, so we'll give it a very bright color. What color should that be? Let's see. You see, that's the issue with this one now. If you're not careful, if you don't give it a very beautiful color, you might as well not get the best result. Right, so I think this is a bit this is, you can see this. Our problem is that it should be seen now. So pattern fill, you see, this is it. This is pattern fill. All right, this kind of a background. So finally we are done. Right, so that's it for format background and slide background. So don't forget solid field background. Right, we have a gradient background, we have a picture background, and then we have a pattern background. There's one last, a texture background, so we did not include it here, but I hope you understand. If you don't, you have to go over the course over and over again, the video over again, and then so that you grasp the idea, the entire idea. And please don't forget to practice makes for perfection. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. But before I go, remember, you are the very best of the best. All right, nobody should make you think less of yourself. You are exceedingly excellent. You are Excelsior. I'll see you in my next video.